Hi folks, my name is Diana. Like a lot of you, I'm making masks for my local healthcare workers. This video is not a video on how to make a mask because so many people have already done that and created patterns, and thank you to all of them. This is just a little addition to any mask that you might be making. My local healthcare hospital contacted me this morning and said that their healthcare workers wanted a mask that was a little more fitting to the face, that basically had a nose seam on it that would hold it closer. So regardless of the pattern that you're using, whether it's the one on the CDC website or one that you've received from a local hospital or facility, this is an easy addition to that pattern that will help mold these masks better to their faces. So all you have to do, regardless of whatever mask you're using, once it's completed, fold it in half along the vertical. And right there on that seam, or right there in that fold, you're going to make about 1.25 inch seam right there to mold the nose a little bit. It's not even going to be 1/16 of an inch in, it's just right on the edge. So all you have to do is put it in your machine, start about 1/4 of an inch down, and I'll show you why that is. If you start at the top, it's not going to want to push and go through. So if you start 1/4 of an inch down, make the seam, and then go back all the way up off the end, it'll work better for you. And I'll show you that right now. So I have my mask in my machine. I placed my needle down, and I'm just going to slowly start to sew about 1 inch down. I'm going to stop, reverse, try to follow my line. If you get off of that original line just a tiny bit, it doesn't matter. Just try to keep them as close to on top of each other as possible. And then I just sew right off the top. And that finishes closing up the top edge. And it makes it simple. And then with these, I'm trying to make sure that I snip all of my threads right down as close as I can. And there you go. You have a little nose bridge for these masks. And it helps keep them on the face a little bit easier. So that's all this is just to show that, or just to show you how to do that. It was easier for me to do this than to type it and try to send it out through the world and all of that. So I know I'm making them like crazy. That's what I'm doing because here in my part of Illinois, we're under a stay at home. So my new hashtag is #happy@home for the next 30 days. And so this is what I can do to help. And if it's what you can do to help, that's great. If you're cutting for the sewer, if you're cutting fabric and cutting elastic, thank you. That's a super big help. If you're sewing and doing it all, thank you. You're doing something good. It wasn't even 100 years ago when our doctors and nurses all wore cloth masks. So, and I remember that, and they wore no gloves too. So keep doing what you're doing. Remember to wash your hands, catch a wave and not a shake. That's something from a 14-year-old that I heard, to catch a wave. And be kind and loving to one another. We'll all get through this together. Bye now.